Hi, my name's Andrew Steele and I head up Global Sustainable Finance for Fitch Ratings. Fitch Ratings is one of the big three credit rating agencies globally, and we cover all different asset classes, providing credit opinions, research and ratings on entities, transactions and programs. Well, I think at the moment, many of the key drivers for sustainable and responsible investment are geared towards trying to work out how to do good as well as doing well. And so it's at a very high level at the moment. We see some investors having moved much more to an integrated approach where they're being very specific about certain activities, processes, certain companies or areas and sectors that they will or they won't invest in, ones where they want to engage and they want to change behaviors. Ultimately, the whole movement, I think, is about changing a mindset. And the mindset is one away from sort of rampant consumption towards responsible consumption via responsible investment in activities that will promote that in the longer term. So we've been working very hard over the last year to integrate how we look at environmental, social and governance factors transparently into our research so that we can extract them from our existing criteria and display very separately how for an individual entity, a transaction or a program, a specific area of either environmental, social or governance risk has impacted our credit rating decisions. So we've done that so far for a large number of our asset classes. We've done it for corporates, we've done it for banks, insurance companies, non-bank financial institutions, sovereigns, insurance, infrastructure, public finance that's both tax supported and revenue supported. But the aspect that I'm most excited about at the moment is in a couple of months' time we'll be publishing our structured finance ESG relevance scores. This is actually an extremely exciting development. In mid to late October we'll publish on over 5,000 individual structured finance transactions across asset-backed securitization, RMBS, CMBS and covered bonds. So clearly we're here to talk about what we're doing first and foremost, but also the people who are attending the forum are a wide range of both asset owners and asset managers. And when we're looking to move the agenda forward in terms of further and more extensive sustainable investment on a global basis, these are the people who are the decision makers. So it's very important for us to talk to them about what we're doing, but also to hear from them about what they want from us. We've made a big step in the last year in terms of helping to provide more detailed and transparent information on how individual factors from environment, social and governance risk affect credit ratings, but there's a lot more work to be done. So one of the reasons for being here is to learn about that, to hear from people. But one of the other aspects as well is just to help educate and teach people about what's going on elsewhere in the world. We also like to think that we try and provide a little bit of a practical and a realistic perspective as well. We are a global company, and a lot of the aspects and issues that are talked about in forums like this tends to be quite country or regional specific. Particularly when people are talking about long-term climate change and goals, there's a tendency to overlook the fact that 1/3 of the population globally has been sort of on a rampant consumerism mode for about 50 to 100 years and has been consuming hydrocarbons left, right and centre, whereas 2/3 of the population has been aspiring to do that for the last 50 to 100 years. And yet when we talk about making the changes, often it refers to the developed markets. But actually, if we don't bring the emerging markets with us, then we're not going to achieve the goals that are being set by politicians in developed markets at the moment. There's a lot that people talk about, but action is what's required. And as well as action, it requires a change in mentality and a change in thinking. It requires the ordinary person on the street to actually change their behaviour. And that's actually a lot harder than it sounds. A lot of people talk about what they'd like to do, but if you say to them, well, actually that means you've got to eat a lot less red meat because the agricultural sector is a big contributor. You shouldn't fly as frequently. Flying should be more expensive. They're all things which people are used to doing and used to having as part of their consumption pattern and profile. But in fact, if those don't change, then it'll be very, very difficult to meet the long-term climate goals that are being set.